2022 will definitely go down as a year to remember for the UFC. Its 29th year, in fact. Going through all the highlights of the year, as there were many, as Dana White says, holy shit moments, but there's a 5 that stand out as truly special. This list is just our opinions, but based on how big/great a moment was and how impactful it was. Number 5, the long-awaited grudge match. After years of trash talk and bad blood boiling between Jorge Masvidal and Colby Covington, we were finally going to get to see teammates and close friends turned enemies inside the octagon duke it out. Both coming in from previous losses to then-champion Kamaru Usman. Colby lost by a close decision in a very technical match, and Street Jesus getting baptized.
Look, watch. After it hits, boom! Look at, he's out cold. Look, you see him try to, there's no question whatsoever what happened. Look at that. Look at how limp he is.
The high stakes were on, as it was way too late to take back anything the two had said.
You know, he turned his back on them. He doesn't want to, own up and be the dad that he should be to them. He's a deadbeat dad. He's a deadbeat person, and he's just going to be playing dead on Saturday night on pay-per-view.
We all knew going into the fight Jorge was either going to shut up Colby and knock him out in humiliating fashion, or Colby was going to crush Jorge all over the canvas embarrassingly. And when the fight came, we got the latter. Colby defeated Gamebred decisively the entire fight, all but for one knockdown in which Colby stated he took a knee for the first responders. Even when the fight ended, there was clearly no loss of animosity, Colby referring to Jorge as Miami street trash, but admitting he came into the fight emotionally due to their formal friendship, but saying he cannot have any respect for a criminal.
As a competitor at all?
Absolutely not. How can you respect that guy? He's a thief. He went to jail multiple times for grand theft.
Even if they might have settled it inside the cage. Definitely not outside. Number 4, Alex Pereira gets the belt. Highly anticipated match in Israel Adesanya against former kickboxing foe Alex Pereira. The only man to knock him out. But being so long ago, in an entirely different sport, it wasn't treated as important besides being history. Pereira earned his shot at gold by landing his picture-perfect left hook on Sean Strickland, which, as Joe pointed out,
same hook he knocked out Adesanya with.
Dude, he hit him, and Strickland's done at this point.
Immediately after that, everyone knew what was next. Izzy, fighting in the main event of the card, got to respond after winning his fight, in which he gave the most brutal line of the year.
I said at the press conference, next time I put you on skates, you're going to get like frozen, like Elsa. I'll leave it at that.
All we knew before the fight came is we will see two successful kickboxers meet in the world of MMA. Come the first round, it was close, but right before the round ended, Israel badly hurt Alex with a right hand hidden behind a fake jab and almost got him out with a left. But even crazier, Alex came back to win the second and even got a late takedown. Inside the third round is where the experience was showing in terms of grappling. Alex looked for the trip but got reversed by Adesanya and controlled for the majority of the round, the fourth being clearly Adesanya's. But then before the fifth round came, his corner told him,
it's one round for you to be a world champion. 5 minutes. Enough. You need to get to him. You need to approach him. Okay? You need to have knock him out. Listen, you need to knock him out. Listen.
And he does just that. In a calculated sequence in which he used the right hand to set up a giant loaded left hand. From there, it was just going for the kill, Alex precisely picking Israel apart. Adesanya falls as Pereira lands more blows, so referee Mark Goddard saw enough, making Alex the new middleweight champion, as well as making it the third time Alex defeats Israel Adesanya. Number 3, Nate Diaz goes out a winner. Nate was literally thrown into the wolf in the form of Khamzat for his final fight in the organization. Many people believe the fight was booked for Nate to lose badly. But Nate couldn't even wait to fight. Literally, and neither could anybody apparently.
Not about that life, kid. You're not about it, kid. Say something now.
That chaos is what led to the first ever canceled pre-fight press conference, which was sad once you see Jing Liang's suit. When it was time to get on the scale, though, Khamzat failed to make weight, coming in at almost 180 pounds. Switching the card to Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, and Khamzat fighting Kevin Holland. When the fights came, some weird stuff happened. Johnny Walker got thrown out of the arena shoeless after his submission win. Irene Aldana got a crazy body shot finish from the bottom, possibly the best finish from bottom position. In the Kevin Holland versus Khamzat fight, the Wolf faked the glove touch into a double leg just 2 seconds into the fight. While Holland was showing his improvement in the wrestling department, it was ultimately not enough as Khamzat found the opening for a Darce choke, leading Trailblazer to tap out. When the main event came, it felt almost sacred. Tony and Nate shared a lot of mutual respect and appreciation between each other. Nate Diaz even took a couple breaks during the fight, not interfered by Tony. Nate always looked one step ahead during the match and even made Tony's legendary shins bleed. If it couldn't be more perfect, during the 4th round, Fergie shot for a takedown. Diaz wrapped in the guillotine and tapped Tony at 2 minutes and 9 seconds on the clock, getting the perfect ending to his UFC career. Number 2, Aljamain Sterling proves the world wrong. After winning the UFC Oscar in 21, Aljamain was hated more than Will Smith for his way to win the bantamweight title off of Peter Yan, in which Peter illegally kneed Aljamain, but many people believed he was trying to milk the situation by quote-unquote acting like he could not continue. Everybody thought he was reaching for a disqualification victory as he was losing the fight. And since the knee did seem intentional, the referee disqualified Peter Yan, resulting in a title change, and everyone was fuming as they did not see Aljamain as the rightful champion. And Sterling became sorta of a villain in the people's eyes. Going into the rematch at UFC 273, Peter was as far as a -500 favorite and Aljamain as a +355. Meaning if you bet $350 on Sterling, you will receive $1,225, which is crazy because before the knee Aljamain was looked as one if not the best at 135, but now he's looked as the joke of the division.
That's good.
But finally the rematch came and Sterling looked like a completely different person. He secured the first 3 rounds, even outstriking Peter in the first. With 3 rounds up, Sterling somehow composed himself to cruise for 10 minutes against the guy who made him a mockery and won the fight, making all the haters have to shut up. Number 1. We got to thank Leon for the best moment of the year. Before UFC 278, there was a demand on Leon Edwards to get a title shot as he had a 9-fight winning streak except for one no contest against Mr. Remember the Name. His last loss to Kamaru Usman back in 2015. Marty agreed with the people that Leon did indeed deserve a shot at gold. But that's just half of it. Once the fight was on, it got wild. Usman was taking the fight to him, looking for the takedown. Leon Edwards became the first man to take down Kamaru Usman with a well-timed trip. Marty understandably pissed. He had just lost his 100% takedown defense. Came back in round 2 and 3 and then the 4th. The commentators were suggesting that Leon had been mentally finished due to the dominance displayed by the champ. Before the 5th and final round, his corner told him,
Listen, stop feeling sorry for your well, come on then. What's wrong with you? You're too down. You got to pull the out of fire.
and it was beautiful. Perfect timing for the head kick that ended Usman's pound-for-pound reign. His post-fight speech was just as great as the finish, giving a good feeling. And although there will be a rematch the night the gold, and this year is Leon Rocky Edwards.